Are you getting ready to divorce a narcissist and you have no idea how in the heck you're going to afford it? Where are the attorney's fees going to come from? Well, you're in luck because today I'm talking with Nicole Noonan, who has founded an entire company dedicated to helping people get fees for their cases. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm rebeccazung, top 1% attorney and the best-selling author of the books Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free, a Step-by-Step Divorce Guide. And I've helped thousands of people go from lives of drama, trauma, and chaos to step into lives of freedom, possibility, and purpose. And I do the same thing for you right here in these videos. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. And that way you'll get notified when I upload brand new content. So today, I'm talking with Nicole Noonan, who has founded an entire company devoted to helping people get access to funds to help them with litigation, to help them with hiring an attorney and getting a forensic accountant and all of those things. So stay tuned. This is part one of my conversation with her. So without further ado, let's dive in. Welcome to today's episode of Negotiate Your Best Life. I'm rebeccazung, and I'm super excited to be here today with Nicole Noonan, who's a lawyer, but she's also the CEO of New Chapter Capital Incorporated, which specializes in divorce funding, which I didn't even know this thing existed. How awesome is this? What she is doing. Amazing. So she's a divorce expert, a pioneer of divorce funding. She's crowned the fairy godmother of divorce by New York Post. She has been seen on Good Morning America, Bloomberg TV, The Couch, all sorts of places, including Huffington Post, The Economist, Forbes, Fortune, New York Times, all sorts of things. So she is also an attorney. She was a divorce attorney practicing full-time. She's now doing what she's doing, and I cannot wait to hear what she has to say. So welcome, 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 Nicole.
Thank you, Rebecca. I'm super excited to be here.
Thank you. So we're going to be talking today about funding to untie the knot, which is, a lot of people that I deal with in my community are dealing with a narcissist. And a lot of times the narcissist has control over the finances, and they want to get out, they want to escape, they want to break free, but they're like, I have no idea how to even do that. So it's incredible. How did you come to creating this?
Yeah, from my own practice. I practiced in an area where I grew up, and I had um, family friends, mostly women that came into my office that had wonderful lives until it came for divorce. And their husbands would cut off their credit cards, and if they didn't have friends or family to go to, what were they going to do? A lot of them were backed into taking settlements less than what they were entitled to, which was very unfortunate. And I said, wow, there has to be something else out there. There has to be a way to help these people. And I heard about this in the UK and Australia. And I'm like, wow, this is brilliant. We have to start doing it in the US. And that's exactly um, almost, 2011, I started it. And I've just been growing it ever since. So yeah,
So it's a
our biggest.
fund that people can apply for, to get access to the funds to buy, to hire their own attorneys, or how does it work?
So it's an advance against the client's potential settlement. So we work with the law firm, the attorney. We ask for them to help put together the application for the client. We look at it. Our underwriters are sent the application. They try to make an evaluation within 3 business days because we know time is of the essence. And if approved, the money can be used for legal fees, expert costs, and for some clients, reasonable living expenses, which is so essential if you can't get access to funds during a divorce. And it makes kind of alleviates some of the stress of a very stressful situation.
Amazing. What an amazing resource for people. So when do they know it's time to go? When do they know? I get people all the time, should I stay? Should I go? When do I know it's time to actually go? So what do you say to that?
Well, in my practice, I always would say did you give it a shot to go to marriage counseling? Is there something, especially, if there are children involved? However, a lot of people know that it's time to go. When they get to me, usually they've already met with attorneys, but sometimes not. Sometimes they come to me first, and they say, hey, look, I'm starting to think about this. I still say, if marriage counseling is available to you, I mean, are you really going crazy because you've been cooped up with your spouse right now for 6 months? Or is it something that, the marriage is already irretrievably broken down? So, I always encourage marriages to stay together, but when it's time to go, it's time to go. And that's when it's time to get prepared,
Yeah,
and make.
I often say it's a soul decision, like your soul, the soul knows, So I always say that I'm certainly not here to tell people to leave a marriage, but I'm here to facilitate if you decide that that's what you want. Except for the fact if there's abuse going on, then
Absolutely.
I definitely would say you do not stay in that
Yeah,
situation.
get out right away, with the
Yeah.
abuse. So,
Yes, yes, of course. So, but other than that, I think that it's hard to know when it's time, but I do think it's a soul decision. I think that the soul knows when it can't breathe anymore, no matter what.
yeah.
So, especially when you're dealing with a high conflict personality or narcissist or somebody like that who's really pretty abusive, even emotionally abusive, psychologically abusive, which is a lot of what narcissists are. It's definitely, once you have the strength to leave, I think it's a good time to leave.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. We
so
see a lot of
what? Go ahead.
financial abuse too. I was going to say a lot of,
Financial
people
abuse.
that's.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I just actually did some shows on that, and I
Yeah.
even did a survey within my own community on how money is being used to financially abuse targets. And actually, attorney's fees was one of the big ones.
Yeah.
So, and not only that, but what I teach in my SLAY program is how to develop strategy and leverage and all that sort of thing. And so that it takes less time because one of the things, you talk about attorney's fees. A lot of the people surveyed said that they had already spent over 100,000 in attorney's fees dealing with this high conflict personality, and there over 80% of the people who were surveyed said that their divorces took 18 months or longer. um, so the work that you're doing is so important. So what options for people, what are the options for people who want to be able to afford divorce and take back their power by divorcing with some modicum of dignity?
Yeah, we say people save for their wedding. You plan on having the perfect dress, the perfect caterer, the perfect bands. But what could be even more expensive than your wedding is your divorce, and people don't frequently save for their divorce. So options are credit cards. However, a lot of our clients do not have great credit history because their husbands were the ones that controlled the credit, meaning that they were the first person on the credit card, that they just got a signee card. They never built up any credit history of their own. It's also very hard to go out and say, hey, I need $100,000 on a credit card. Thanks, MasterCard, you're not going to give me a $100,000 line of credit if you haven't built up any credit. Friends or family you can go to, but asking mom and dad for $100,000 for legal fees, even for $10,000, it's not only sometimes impossible, it's also embarrassing. You're an adult. So you can go to brothers and sisters. Again, it's hard. Friends, it's more difficult because they're not blood related. But that's what we are. We are the option for a lot of these people that don't have other options. And what we do is make the advance, and then sometimes at the end, you get your legal fees taken care of. Um, through litigation or through mediation, where when the moneyed spouse would end up paying back the advance that has been made to you, which is always great. So we give them sort of the ability to go and level that playing field without taking more stress, more monthly payments that they have to make on credit cards. With us, you don't have to make monthly payments. Everything is rolled up, and nothing needs to be paid until you get to settlement.
So, give us one of your favorite success stories. You know,
Uh,
somebody who came to you like in a dire situation and was successful.
yeah. So we have a lot of them, and I love the thank you notes that I get, and the Christmas cards, and I see how people are just growing and writing their new chapters. We had one a couple years ago, and she was just distraught. She came to me. Her husband had been in had an affair with the best man actually at their wedding, which is always was a shock. But she stayed in the marriage because she just was scared. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know if she could even afford a divorce. So I got her the right representation. We got her advanced against a settlement. They got a divorce. She actually used some of the money to go back to school and started her own jewelry line, which is an amazing. I have some pieces of it, and she's just thriving. She met a new guy. She has a beautiful child that she's getting to enjoy by staying home and developing this beautiful jewelry line. And I think that's just amazing. And you can see it on her face when I run into her, or when I get the Christmas cards, that how it's just lighter. She's just able to take that 100,000 pound elephant off your back, or gorilla off your back. So, yeah, no, that's a great.
Yeah. And what was her situation before she came to you? Was she
She
already, was the case already going, or was she
no,
able to find you before the case
she
started?
found us first. I was really her first phone call. Someone had given her my name, and she was based in New York as well. And she just didn't know where to go. She didn't know what to do. She was scared. She was alone. She was not originally from this country, so she didn't have friends or family here, let alone friends or family to go to for funding. So, um, yeah.
Thanks for watching this part one of my conversation with Nicole Noonan. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, now's a great time to do that. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you like this video, give it a like, give it a share, drop me a comment. If you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist, make sure to grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com. And also come on over and join me in my free private Facebook group where you can get support and you can rant and you can feel warmth and feel like you're not alone. And it's called Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. And we'll drop a link to that below as well. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, today's a great day to start negotiating your best life.